Hello and welcome to Long Beach Lens. I'm your host, Derek J. Simpson, Executive Director of the Long Beach Community Action Partnership. Today, our first guest is the Director of Economic Development for the City of Long Beach. Please join me in welcoming Mr. John Keisler. How are you, sir?
I'm well. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. My pleasure. We get to work on different projects in the community. And as I got to know you and know what you do in the City of Long Beach more, I thought it was important to share for the greater community to have a deeper understanding so that people could be more engaged and hopefully more supportive in the things that you're involved with. But as I was reading about you for this show, I read something about philosophy and religion as your background as well. So share a little bit about John the man before we get into John, the Executive Director.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, and that's a long story, but it all begins.
We only have 12 minutes.
Well, it all begins. As a young person, I was trying to figure out, the meaning of life, and so that's where you begin in studying.
I'm still trying to figure it out. So.
But what it was amazing is I got to go to school. I got to go to college in Minnesota, and I studied philosophy and religion, and what it really did was it focused me on public service. It focused me on helping others and making my community a better place. And so I've been blessed. I became a school teacher after college. I went into a school in Newark, New Jersey, where we served a low-income community, Dr. Martin Luther King Elementary School. I was a 7th and 8th grade teacher there, and that's what really got me excited about the opportunity to work in city government, where I could help work on public safety, education, economic development, all those things that help support the families of the students that I taught. So that's how I got into government and ultimately working on these issues of economic development.
Now, when you joined Long Beach, before your present position, you were involved with the I-Team and other initiatives. Share a little insight for people who don't know about those things in case they're interested as well.
Yeah, well, Long Beach is an amazing city, 500,000 people. So we provide a full service from the police department to Parks, Rec, and Marine. I worked in the animal control agency as well. And I've been able to move around over the last 13 years into different departments and learn a lot about how the city works. Most recently, before becoming the Economic Development Director, I was able to work on the city's first innovation team through the city manager's office. And the purpose of the innovation team really is to look for ways that we can make government work better for people. And so we were implementing a new approach we call design thinking to really focus on the user experience. So what is it like to be a resident in North Long Beach or to be a small business? What kind of support do you need to help you succeed? And so we studied those issues by studying people. So that's where my philosophy degree comes in. And ultimately we designed government services around people and then use the insights and the lessons we learned to build programs and then ultimately, in some cases, policy changes.
I love the concept of design thinking. I learned about it and know that it's up at Stanford, but that's how I tell people design thinking was how Apple created the mouse by looking at what people needed in order to be more efficient on the computer.
That's right.
I want to read this quote. You said, "I'm dedicated to helping Long Beach grow in terms of jobs, business, relocation and expansion, and overall economic activity, while at the same time strengthening the unique character of our many wonderful neighborhoods." That was a quote that I read. And when you hear that quote and you think about your current role, how do you see that all coming together, John?
Yeah, well, I think it goes back about 70 years when my grandparents first arrived in Long Beach. They lived in North Long Beach. My dad was born and raised there and went to Jordan High School, Cal State Long Beach. And then when my wife and I decided to settle somewhere, we first started out in Belmont Shore, and then we moved up to East Long Beach around Hartwell Park and going to Patrick Henry School. And what I've found by living in these different areas of the city is that each one of the 82 distinct neighborhoods in the city has an identity and has a cultural network and resources that are unique. In economic development, our goal is to help people make more money and to create the type of environment that they want for themselves and their families. So understanding the unique aspects, the culture, the history of each of our neighborhoods is the starting place. And that's what also makes us unique as a city. And whether it's the downtown, the west side, or central Long Beach, we want to help the people and the businesses to grow in place so that they can provide a unique experience for customers, consumers, as well as residents, and that you can't get anywhere else in the world. Long Beach is diverse, and that's one of our advantages, our unique competitive advantages in the market.
Now, if I'm a small business owner or an aspiring entrepreneur, is your department where I should come for such insight, or who is your customer base primarily in that regard?
Absolutely. So we are what I like to call the Economic Development Department of the future. Okay. And the council and the mayor made a strategic decision about 3 years ago to reconstitute our Economic Development Department. And one of the challenges I was given when I went through the process was I got asked, what does the future of economic development look like for cities? And number one, it's about building your economic development strategy around people. That's number one. We used to focus on just property and redevelopment of real estate. Now cities are focusing a lot more on design thinking, user-centered design, and saying, how is it that we can help all people make more money and thrive? So we have three key, we'll call them legs of the stool. One is business development, so it's helping entrepreneurs work for themselves, start their businesses, grow, and employ other people. The second one is workforce development. That's working for other people. So we help businesses find skilled workforce, and sometimes we even use our federal workforce development funds to pay for their training, their recruitment. Sometimes we even pay a portion of their salaries to help small businesses employ residents of Long Beach. And then finally, real estate development. That's where you see us going out to attract investment, as well as to help developers and buyers of property to navigate the development process. So we say that we create economic opportunity for workers, investors, and entrepreneurs, all three. So no matter how you make your money, we can help.
Now, I know that Long Beach also has business improvement districts. Are they under your auspices as well, or is that a different area of the city?
Yeah, business improvement districts are really one of those critical strategies that cities can help to support and enable to provide more resources closer to the unique neighborhoods and commercial corridors throughout the city. So you don't take a one-size-fits-all approach. What you do is you work with public-private partnerships. Business improvement districts are nonprofits that function to really help the businesses create a unique commercial corridor for their visitors, residents, and customers. And so we have 10 in the city. They all have different identities. 4th Street looks a lot different than Belmont Shore, looks a lot different than downtown, the Long Beach Alliance, or Bixby Knolls. Each of those bids has an executive director who partner with the city. We provide them support, we provide them navigational services, we even provide them small loans and help their businesses to thrive. And by that public-private partnership, we're able to get more service on the street, and it's delivered in a unique way that addresses the unique character of each of those neighborhoods.
Now, speaking of unique, something that I wasn't very aware of, we both attended an event maybe a month or so ago for VIP Records, and there was a loan fund, if I were to call it that, of sorts, that was brought up by one of your team there. Can you share some insight on that for people who might be interested? Yeah,
that's another good example of user-centered design. So when we, the city, established our small business loan programs through the Small Business Administration and through the Economic Development Administration. These are federal agencies. They partner with cities to offer low-interest loans, as well as to provide the technical assistance and support for small businesses to access these low-interest loans and then help develop the business plan to repay them. So for years, we've had programs that started at about $25,000 and go up to as much as $2 million. However, we discovered through our outreach that there were many entrepreneurs that didn't have any credit. They didn't have good credit. They didn't need $25,000. Maybe they needed that first $10,000 loan. So identifying that gap in the market, we partnered with a financial technology company called Kiva, and we now offer microloans. And what is the advantage there is that Long Beach Community Foundation, as well as a nonprofit called LISC, are able to come together to support the entrepreneur. They get a no-fee no interest loan. There's nothing like it on the market. It has no fees, it has no interest, but the entrepreneur is able to access this capital because Long Beach residents become lenders. And you can lend as little as $25, you get repaid. 98% of these loans get repaid throughout the world. Kiva has done over 1 billion loans worldwide. And as a partner with the city, if one of our entrepreneurs comes through the city program, like VIP as a trustee, if the entrepreneur comes through that trustee, that loan is free, there's no interest, and there's an accelerator fund, which means they raise $2,500, we match it with $2,500.
Wow.
If they raise $5,000, we match it with $5,000. So it's a much quicker process to get them funded.
We only have 2 minutes, and what you just talked about with Kiva is a show in itself. It's just so appealing to on so many levels. But if people want to know more about Kiva, do they just reach out to your office, or is there a website they go to? What's the process?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for this opportunity to promote. Yeah. So if you go to longbeach.gov, which is the city's website, we are the Economic Development Department. So longbeach.gov/economic development, you are able to find our small business resources in one of the drop downs, and it'll tell you how to get involved with Kiva, connect with our staff, and we'll get you going today.
Elevator pitch. If you were talking to someone on the street about your department and why they should care, what would you say to them?
Well, first and foremost, our job is to help you make more money. So everybody wants to make more money, whether you're a worker, an investor, or an entrepreneur. And our city, the city of Long Beach, is a tremendous city of opportunity for people on all of those fronts. Our mayor and city council are business friendly. They're also worker friendly. They're also real estate development friendly. And they really do want to see us provide more affordable housing, spaces for entrepreneurs to start their businesses and grow. And we can provide support across all those areas. So come to our website, check out the Economic Development Blueprint, which is the City Council, their plan for the next 10 years, and see where it is that you fit in. Let us know how we can help.
Thank you, John. We're out of time, but we're not out of questions, so we'll bring you back soon, okay?
That would be awesome. Thank you.